three things. First, well, besides thanks for joining. Next weekend I won't be here. For the first time in 3 years, I get to go on vacation, although I had some time away for my knee replacement. We will have the Mission Co-op speaker here every year. Every parish in the Archdiocese does that, and it'll be our turn. Secondly, as I record this, it's Thursday, which means tomorrow is Halloween. I thought I should show you what I wore for trunk or treat for our kids. The first thing was I just had this button on just because I knew it would drive the parents nuts, and the kids got such a kick out of it. It was fun. Now, the scary part was this. I said, do you want to see something scary? Now, the kids weren't scared at all. The parents were terrified when I showed them the mirror. Anyway, I'm so funny. Anyway, yeah, in my own mind. Okay, this weekend, all across the world, we celebrate All Souls at all of our masses. Invite you to join us. We have a lovely ceremony where anyone who had a loved one die this past year sends in a picture, which will be part of our video tribute, both at the beginning and then during the time when we bring in the beautiful Book of Remembrance, which has names of loved ones who have died, children who died too young, the dreams that died with them, parents, loved ones. It's just a beautiful ceremony. Join us if you're able and would like to. When we post the live version of the homily on Sunday evening, we will include a link to that video tribute, as well as the homily. So again, thanks for joining. Our gospel question: is there anyone you are grieving these days? And what's that like for you? Thanks for joining. Years ago, a man told me a story from the time there were those old phones on the wall which connected to a person who could give phone numbers, the correct time. Now, it was only many years later, of course, that we'd have things like Google, Alexa, or Siri. He said that when he was young, his father had one of those old phones, and he discovered that somewhere inside that remarkable device lived this amazing person. Her name was Information Please. She knew so much. His mom would say, "Information please," and that person could supply people's phone numbers in the correct time. Now, once he hit his finger with a hammer and it really hurt, and he thought, the telephone. So he climbs onto a stool, picks up the phone and says, "Information please." And when he told the lady who answered that he hurt his finger, he started crying, and the voice told him how to chip off a piece of ice and hold it on his hurt finger. After that, he kind of started to call Information Please for many things. He asked questions like how to spell words, or what the temperature was, or what makes a tree grow. Now, the answer that stayed with him was the answer he got when Petey, his pet canary, died. He called the Information Please and told her the sad story, and then he asked her, "Why do birds that sing so beautifully have to die?" She said quietly, "Paul, always remember that there are other worlds to sing in." He said that made him feel a little bit better. Now, when he was 9 years old, he and his family moved across the country. Years later, he was passing through town and decided to try again. Surprisingly, he immediately recognized the voice on the other end, and at some point he said, "I wonder if you have any idea how much you meant to me during my growing up years." She said, "I wonder if you have any idea how much your calls meant to me. I never had any kids, and I just used to really look forward to your calls." He asked if he could call her next time he passed through town. She said, "Please do, just ask for Sally." Some months later, he was back in town. A different voice answered, and he asked for Sally. "Are you a friend?" the voice asked. When he told her he was, she said, "I'm sorry to have to tell you this. Sally's only been working part-time for the last few years because she's been really sick. She died 5 weeks ago. I'm sorry." And then she said, "Wait, did you say your name was Paul?" And he said, "Yes." She said, "Well, Sally left a message for you. She wrote it down in case you called. Let me read it to you." The note said, "Tell him I still say there are other worlds to sing in. He'll know what I mean." He thanked her and hung up. He knew what Sally meant. As we celebrate All Souls Day, as whenever we remember our loved ones who have died, we also remember that there are other worlds to sing in. Our loved ones who have gone before us are gone from our sight, but not from our lives. And today, St. Paul gives us this important and two-part sentence. He says, "I would not have you grieve as those who have no hope." The message is not that we would not grieve. Of course we grieve, right? When someone we love dies, the world is changed forever. There's such a mixture of emotions and so many losses. I mean, sometimes we also grieve what should have been in a relationship. We lament the things that were said that shouldn't have been said, or the things left unspoken that should have been spoken. And we also grieve the loss of the gift they've been to us, the blessings they bring, and know the heartache of the empty place that no one else could fill. Of course we grieve. Please know this. Jesus understands that. He understands us. He gets it, right? Today, at the death of his friend Lazarus, Jesus weeps. He weeps because he was sad. He loved Lazarus. He loved the sisters of Lazarus. And I would think that seeing them cry made him cry even harder himself. Jesus gets us, right? So as St. Paul says, of course we grieve. But then St. Paul adds, we are not to grieve as those who have no hope. For as people of faith, we do trust that there is a life beyond what we can see, that there are other worlds to sing in. Yes, Jesus weeps as he stands at the tomb of his friend Lazarus. And then Jesus does this amazing thing. I see Jesus wiping the tears from his eyes, taking a breath, and then he calls Lazarus forth. His face still moist from the tears. He says, "Lazarus, come out." And in that call is the power to make that happen. And Lazarus steps forth from the grave. We do not grieve as those who have no hope, because we know that Jesus stands before our loved ones who have died to call them forth from death to fullness of life. And we rightly pray that our loved ones heed that call. That their hearts, and they'll allow their hearts to continue to more and more open to the fullness of God's healing love. Love that will never end. Yes, we grieve, but we do not grieve as those who have no hope. For it is our faith that there is a life beyond what we can see, that love is forever, and that even now we have a deep connection with our loved ones who've gone before us in death. And like that little boy and the woman on the other end of that phone, God knows that we need each other on the way. Today, we remember that there are indeed other worlds to sing in.